All right. I'm not impressed, Pat. Not impressed. This is my first Minnesota blizzard in 2 years, and I was hearing from every weather source on TV and social media, we're going to rival the Halloween blizzard of 1991. I feel like we're pacing behind at this point. We're pacing behind.
The second wave is going to have to be really impressive to live up to the hype. That is for sure. Because the first one I just said, okay, okay. Now when does it start here? The first wave, and that 3 inches, and that was about it. That's all. Now I saw my driveway got plowed, so I guess there was a little enough snow for that, but. So far, not good, but it is interesting. We have to go back to one day after the parade for our most recent world championship in a major men's professional sport. And that's a long time ago, ain't it, baby?
It is, yeah. It's unfortunate.
Comparing it to. Isn't that amazing? What if the World Series was like pushed back as far as it's pushed back now, because let's say Game 7 was on October 17th, 27th, right? October 27th. If it had been like October 30th, 31st, they might have had to wait a while to play that Game 7 here in Minnesota, right?
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those near misses. The Super Bowl, we talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago. Yeah. The Super Bowl was here 5 years ago, and it got down to 0 one day, and it scared everyone from LA and Miami. The next year, that same week, wind chills of minus 55. That would have been the stamp to put on the Minneapolis Super Bowl.
Yes, that would have been. They might have had to cancel the thing that they were doing over the river there, right? They were. What was the?
What do you call? They were doing the. What do you call it? Where you slide down the rope or whatever across
right. They were
river.
Doing that across the river. I talked to Jim Marshall that week. He wanted to go do it. He wasn't really in great condition, but the great adventurer of the Minnesota sports scene thought, I think I could do it. And his wife was saying, no, you're not going to do it. He wanted to whatever the hell that thing was.
Zip line. We were zip lining.
Zip line. He wanted the zip line. That's right. Yeah. So, but let's see. We'll see. We'll give them another day here. But everybody's canceled school yesterday based on the forecast. I think we could have survived the first wave and sent the little brats to school today.
I mean, it's great right now. It's like sunny. The streets are plowed.
And I think the girls, the state high school league is not blinking. They're going to have the girls hockey tournament starts today, right? And they're going to play it tomorrow. And they tell the teams, take precautions as you're driving down here, but we aren't going to get you here. You still got to get here on your own. So. Anyway.
We're going to find out who the toughest teams are on Wednesday night, Thursday night, I think. That's what's going to happen.
True. Those are the, I think A plays on, I think double A plays today and A plays on Thursday. I'm not sure, though. But there's an interesting, we had a Star Tribune has an interesting story on that today, that Gentry Academy, basically the hockey school out here. They moved them up to double A this year, but nobody's going to play them. Because it's a charter school, by the way. We're paying for it. The taxpayers are paying for that hockey
paying
school.
For a hockey powerhouse. I love it. We're the state of hockey. We should be funding hockey powerhouses.
It's a charter school, but nobody wants to play them. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't get quite as bad as they thought it was, and then we can all make fun of the weather forecasters like we used to when they were much more inaccurate than they are today.
Well, generally, I was gonna fire off a pithy tweet about how inaccurate they were, but then I remember Declan put a screenshot out of my 260 batting average and write that down prediction. So if I'm only hitting 1 out of 4 sports predictions, I can't make fun of Ian Leonard.
No, you cannot do that. That is for sure. See, I know we got other things to think about, but I was thinking about this a couple days ago. Considering Minneapolis and the problems that Minneapolis has been through, and to get people back downtown is a big deal. Has there ever been anything more stupid from a sports standpoint for a civic leader than Betsy Hodges, Bike Lane Betsy, turning down the soccer stadium which would have been right down behind Target Center and Target Field, and you would have had this entire complex, and you would have had 18,000 young hipsters coming down there 20 times a year, and it would have cost the city maybe for a little road improvement and giving them a break on the taxes and everything, about $20 million maybe.
What were we worried about with the tax break? That some other development would come in at some point, and
some of it just that we shouldn't be helping these rich people out that much. But what a moron! I mean, it'd be down there where the farmers market is. You'd have the farmers market next to it. You'd have this whole square of things going on, and more than anything, you'd have people coming downtown who are 30 years old and they got money, right? And
I wonder if it would have been different because, I mean, at the time of the decision, they were still trying to get people downtown, but not as desperately as now.
Oh, no.
If the decision had to be made now, I wonder if it would have been a different story.
I'm sure. I wonder if Fry would have been for it. If Fry might have been for it, just Bike Lane Betsy thought her constituency would she'd get too many. She'd get 10 letters to the editor saying, we're always taking care of the rich people. So yes, they're the ones that drive downtown. The rich people, they drive it. They employ people. They get people downtown.
I mean, in fairness, you haven't tried the bike lanes yet, so I don't know. You shouldn't maybe knock the bike lanes till you try them.
I'm not a regular bike lane user. I will admit that, but man, that was I was on her from the start on that one. But the more you look at it now, you go by the big beautiful soccer stadium on the Midway, which by the way could use a little help too. But It was there. It was a gift. It was a gift, and she turned it down. What a moron!
Well, I think we were at the time, and I agree. They should have built that stadium where you're talking about. So I agree with you, but we had stadium fatigue, right? We had just paid $500 million for U.S. Bank Stadium as a public. We paid for a big chunk of Target Field. Did we also pay for TCF Bank Stadium, a chunk of that?
Yes.
The public?
Oh yeah, the state did. We had that, but they were building it themselves. They were building the construction costs and everything. They were building themselves. What they wanted was a break on the basically not paying the sales tax on the materials, and and they wanted you to improve some roads and do some stuff like that. But I say, cost you maybe $20 million of public money to get a stadium that's going to have people downtown spending money, and young, the hipster types that are going to think that, they go down there and they cheer like crazy for this team that they don't even know who all the players are. That's a perfect crowd. They don't get mad. They don't care if they're going to show up whether you're 8-24 or 24-8. They don't give a damn. They don't care if you're playing, some exhibition game or not. They're going to be there because they can sing and chant and say, and then somebody tells them we scored a goal and they go, yay, that's great. It's fantastic. It's the perfect crowd because they don't have any standards for success.
There was another way to bring people downtown a few days ago that I remember. Monster Jam was at US Bank Stadium.
Yes. Oh,
I think
really?
on Sunday. It was like Friday through Sunday situation.
Different crowd than you get for a soccer game. I don't think many soccer fans go to Monster Jam, but how'd Monster Jam draw? Did they draw good?
I don't know what the attendance was, but just based on parking availability anywhere near, 10 blocks near US Bank Stadium, looks like they were doing pretty well.
Oh yeah, it used to be great. It used to be a great event when it came in, and the motocross too. I don't think we get a motocross race anymore, but there used to be, the big indoor event. I remember doing a couple of pieces on motocross. I know a lot about that motocross.
You do, yeah. X Games, motocross. That's right in your wheelhouse.
Right.
The Twins.
Anyway, that was a tangent. We should probably go back to talking about sports.
No, I think it was a good tangent. The Twins did sign a veteran utility man yesterday, and I'm wondering it kind of felt like their roster was already sort of set.
We have all kinds of utility infielders.
Nick Gordon. We've got who is the other free agent?
Kyle Farmer.
Farmer.
We got this Julian kid. We got rid of Louis because we had so many extra infielders. Now this guy obviously
So
got signed.
Donovan Solano, I think he's 35 years old. He can hit a little bit.
He
But
obviously
he's a
got,
part-time player who can play about 4 positions and hit a little bit. But it's a major league contract, so they got to figure something out.
Oh, really? They gave him a big league
It's a
contract.
major league
I didn't
contract.
realize that.
Yeah.
So they got to take somebody out the 40-man then, huh?
Yeah.
They already took who'd they gas off the 40-man last week to make room for. They had to make room for somebody last week too. And
I'd have to go look.
Yeah. Well, see, they're going to have these 40-man spots. They got 3 guys who are going on the 60-day DL when the season, but that doesn't. You can't do that till opening day. Put him on the 60-day DL. I didn't realize it was a major league contract. I thought he was just signing him for St. Paul or something. So
No, it's a thing.
I don't know. What's it a sign of? Who are they worried about injury wise?
Or do they have a trade in the works to make the roster sort of correct itself in the next couple of days? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the Kepler stuff is probably dissipated at this point, but it feels a little like domino number 1 with domino number 2 to fall. So we'll see.
It's weird. Okay, I should have paid more attention when I saw that. I just saw a graph and I thought, oh well, he's signing him for St. Paul. Good luck in St. Paul. But none of he's on the major league roster. I remember him having a decent. 2 years ago when the Giants were like out of their minds, everybody they brought in did something right. I think he played for him quite a bit that year because
he batted like 320 in 300 plate appearances for the Giants a couple years ago.
I had no idea he was that old until I saw it today's paper, though. So,
yeah, he was one of those guys that he came up in his 20s, played for I think it was the Marlins and the Yankees, and then spent 3 years between ages like 29 and 32 in AAA, grinding it out, and then came back to the big leagues for 4 years.
How about let's mention this? We might have. Balazovic was supposed to be their big prospect like 4 years ago, and he was injured for 2 years, and then last year he was horrible, and they stuck with him. Right? They stuck with him. They kept him on the 40-man, and now he must have got punched in a bar fight, right? Because he ends up with a broken face. But he may not be a bright fella. I remember interviewing him like 4 years ago. I thought he was kind of a bright guy, but obviously they're not telling us the full details, and he can't talk because his jaw's wired shut. But not a bright guy.
No, they sat him down and stressed the importance of just focusing on baseball going forward. And isn't that amazing? Like not just with baseball players, but pretty much any professional athlete. If you could talk to most of them when they're 38, 40, 45 years old, almost all of them would say, boy, I wasn't really the sharpest guy when I was 22 years old at my physical peak.
I would guess he's got a chance to be the guy taking off the 40-man would be now that I think about it.
He was their number 1 pitching prospect 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah. And he's been terrible. He's been hurt and terrible and everything else. So, and I also see Josh Winder's shut her down again for a while, right? You see that?
Yeah, well, is he shut down? He's definitely 2 weeks behind. He was shut down before, and now he's like 2 weeks behind schedule.
He was, whatever keeps getting sore with him. Is it, I can't remember, is it the shoulder or the forearm or something, but he's sore again.
He might be a guy that, you have a crunch for your rotation anyways. If he can't handle the load of being a starter, maybe you throw him in for some bullpen depth. Well,
here's the thing. I remember being back in spring training. I think it's way back in 2020 now, is it? It wouldn't have been. I was there in 21. Maybe it was 21. They had Cantorino and him were the 2 guys they were pushing. Cantorino. And Cantorino's been injured for 2 years, and this guy hasn't made it to the finish line either year either. So, pitching. That's why when you gotta go get that pitching, you got to get that young pitching, good pitching. It's nice to have young pitching, but you got to go spend a lot of money on pitching. They're a fragile commodity, and there's a very good chance that they aren't going to pitch like you thought they were going to. And these two guys were both going to be in the rotation last year, a couple of years ago, and now neither of them have been able to be healthy.
Something else I observed, just kind of looking through the social media twin spring training reports yesterday. So there was a short video or a photo of Paul Molitor working with Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton in the batting cage. Are the Twins the best organization in professional sports at smoothing over what should be rocky relationships?
Yes.
Gardy, Terry, Paul, fired. You're all fired. 5 minutes later, they're just back in a Twins uniform at spring training, back in the press box.
You've been there. You've been there at spring training. Billy Smith just making laps through the. I don't think he doesn't work for him anymore, but he's making laps through the press box. It's like
just eating popcorn, just hanging out.
Yeah, it's incredible. Billy lives down there now. He's no hard feelings. It's amazingly the no hard feelings organization. Terry, is not working in baseball. I think for the first time this year, he's actually retired.
Wow.
He didn't. He left the Phillies, and he's not. I don't know if he's down there. I don't know if he'd be. He's got to be down there somewhere, sitting in the stands watching. Now, Terry didn't come up. Terry didn't come up and hang out upstairs, in the offices.
No, he put the cap on and sit behind home plate.
He put the cap on and sit behind home plate with the other scouts. But that would be a terrible. Boy, I can't imagine what that guy would be doing if he can't go to baseball games, in spring training in Florida.
How would you, if you're him? How would you ever go to a baseball game for just enjoyment, or would you always have you're always sort of critiquing and scouting? I wonder when the last time he just went to a baseball game, and sat there like a fan and ate a hot dog.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's assessing, even if he's not working for anybody. I'm sure he's assessing. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, there's another thing. Maybe I can save. I have an Anthony Edwards thing for you, but we'll do it again tomorrow. So remind me if I forget to ask you about something Anthony Edwards said for tomorrow's show.
Not the thing about playing all the time, is it?
That is the thing.
That thing, yeah. That's been well discussed, and it pretty much probably made him an outcast at the All-Star game.
I love it. I love that he just comes in.
Play. We shouldn't have to play all the time, for goodness sake.
I think I just love the fact that he can walk into a room full of the 22 alpha Hall of Fame NBA guys and basically throw middle fingers up and say, "Why aren't you guys playing?"
Hey,
I think it's awesome.
Did you try to watch it at all?
No. I'm out on the All-Star.
Unbelievable. They gotta not play it. They gotta do what the NFL did. They cannot play it. Yeah. It used to be a layup drill, but it was at 80% speed. Now it's a layup. I watched only 2 minutes. I had to change it, but it's now a layup drill at 50% speed.
Yeah.
And the poor announcer has to sit there now, and he drives in, and they got to act like they're watching something. People used to pay money to go to that thing, and maybe they still do. But what you got?
And even the Saturday night stuff. The Saturday night stuff has fallen off a cliff too. The 3-point contest is always going to be kind of fun.
Sure.
The dunk contest, and I follow the NBA pretty closely. Mm-hmm. Those are 4 guys that even I was like, who
are these guys? Yeah.
So 20 years ago, I think Vince Carter was the last superstar to just sort of maybe Dwight Howard jumped over a Kia one time, or was it Blake Griffin jumped over a Kia? But it's been about 10 years.
It's a long time since Dominique did it. They used to have a dunk guy. I think the first one, Dominique was in it. For goodness,
LeBron never did it.
Ago. No, they. I don't know. They're not going to give up the weekend because of the parties and bringing in sponsors and all that stuff. But the game is beyond stupid. And you're right, the Saturday night stuff is beyond stupid too. So,
yeah.
Here's what they're doing. They got the first year, second year game. They're training them not to make any effort either, when they're playing in their game. They're breaking them in so they learn how to not to do anything when they're.
Yeah, well, it is nice to see Luka Garza in the G League All-Star game. I think he was the MVP of that game, and I
want him back here. We're not playing him enough. Luka was great. Luca can play in the league, for goodness sakes. He can be the backup to the big guy, Gobert. There's no doubt about it.
It's kind of amazing how the Wolves they just sort of found Naz Reid undrafted. They found Luka Garza undrafted. They've had a knack for finding some of these guys.
Tell you the guy they're going to let leave as a free agent is Noel. Jalen. Yeah, they're just pinched. They don't play him much. They don't. As good as he can be offensively, they must have decided he's the guy. They're going to keep Nas and let him walk. I guess they're going to. They got the free agent situation. They're both free agents. I really like Jalen a lot, but this year there must be something going on because he doesn't play that much.
His upside is he almost needs to go just sign with a bad team and score 18 points a game for a couple of years or something,
and shoot a lot and not have to guard anybody. I guess that's the way that goes. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, be safe out there, Pat.
I'm shoveling. I got the girls across the street up in the cul-de-sac shoveling my walk. They came over and got me last night for the first 20. I'm at $20.
Okay, so you're not running a sweatshop. You are.
No. Takes them 6-7 minutes. 20. They're making 120 an hour between them.
Okay.
But they said, "You want me back in the morning?" I said, "Well, let's wait till it actually starts snowing again."
Wait, what's their hourly rate? $120 an hour?
Well, I'm paying them $20 and it takes less than 10 minutes.
Are you giving them health insurance too?
Well, I thought I was only getting one, but they were both here last night. They're splitting her up. So
that's a good business sense. Okay.
I had to make them. Hey, you're not getting 20 a piece here. You're getting 20.
Oh, those 17 kids come walking over and they all get $20.
Yeah, that's right. But they, I thought we were going to get feet. I have arranged to have them do it. I thought we were going to get feet of snow. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I could have done it, for goodness. Last night I could have done it, for goodness sake. So
yeah, we'll see. Well, anyway. We'll see what the tally is when we reconvene tomorrow. We'll see if we can play catch up. All right.
See you, gents.
All right, see you, Pat. That's Reusse Unchained here. You can find Reusse Unchained, everything he does with us on Score North on the Reusse Unchained podcast feed.